All right, bang. Today is Tuesday. It is April 15th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Snake Draft Tuesday. It's a four-man today. It's WrestleMania week. So we had to do a wrestling one. Chief and White Sox Dave are not wrestling guys, so I brought in some guys who are. We have KFC, Robbie Fox, and Clem. Robbie, you're going. Are you, is this like 5 manias for you already?
5? This is like
25.
My 10th or something. It's crazy. I went to 2 manias before I started at Barstool. At Barstool, I went to 33, 34, 35, 36 was the COVID year. Went to 37. I went to 38, skipped 39, went to 40. So this is 41.
Crazy.
WrestleMania for me is the greatest time of the year. It's my Christmas. I haven't missed watching a WrestleMania live since I was like 4 years old. WrestleMania 19.
So sick.
I watched that live. Haven't missed one since. It is my number one.
Have you watched this like documentary that's out with like footage from
WrestleMania
like
9?
WrestleMania 11?
I saw clips from it. My brother watched it. He said like, if you're not a wrestling fan, probably good. If you're a wrestling fan, you've probably seen it.
Got it.
But yeah,
That's
I'm stoked.
Crazy.
Shout out the WrestleMania song. Just such a good goddamn song.
Well, the last 6 years, The Weeknd has had the WrestleMania song. They just keep giving the official WrestleMania theme song to The Weeknd. 6 years running.
Wait, do they change the theme now?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Clem, we're talking since like WrestleMania 11.
Yeah, this is like, I kind of just let that happen because I was like, I don't think I know.
Yeah, the first like decade of WrestleMania had a theme song, but like since then, yeah, it's been different songs.
That kind of does. It's a perfect like segue to like, this is going to be a very interesting draft because you have the new school fan and Robbie. I think Eddie kind of bridges the gaps. And then I think Kevin and I are kind of the old school. I think we both probably end around the same time, Attitude Era 2003-ish, right?
Yep, that's
where I pick up.
You didn't
Like
watch
2003 is like on, you know?
Right,
It's like
you watched the
5-year-old.
Of course.
But you were a baby. You were a pup.
Well, I didn't watch it live. I had to like go back and rewatch everything.
Got it.
The
How old were you?
documentaries,
When were you born?
98. So that's like when the Attitude Era is like in its prime, you know? Like that's when it's really
You're
going.
not like, you couldn't even watch it as a little boy.
No.
You were, wow.
That is
Man.
crazy.
It was. I maintain that the Attitude Era is the greatest form, whatever you want to call it, of entertainment ever.
You can make the
I
argument.
think for the amount of content they put out, like take any movie franchise, any TV show, anything, I think that wrestling from like 99 to 02, 03 is like, you can't beat it.
That's almost like a draft in itself, like 90s NBA, right? And then I'm sure there's an NFL era you could throw in there.
Right.
Chief probably has an NHL era. He'd probably try to pump up.
If like must see NBC era, and it was like Friends and Seinfeld and all those things. Like all of these, when you take these things at their peak, I still think Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Vince McMahon, like that, everything that came out of that, Triple H, I think it's the greatest entertainment of all time.
And I'll say this, for my lifetime, someone born in 98, you could make a real argument that as a wrestling fan, we're currently in the peak for me.
Really?
Like wrestling feels to me more mainstream than it's ever been.
Yeah.
It feels cooler than it's ever been.
Well, they kind of also are going away from like the kiddie stuff, right? For
a
while,
little. I mean, like
they're still
Triple H
not,
taking over from Vince was the turning point.
Yeah, that's
where
a
it's
big
like,
deal.
oh, we're
Yes.
getting a guy who cares about like the wrestling fan
Wrestling.
specifically.
Yes.
And it's been so good. Yeah. Like it feels so good to be a wrestling fan for the first time in a long time. And it started, a year or two, maybe 2 years, 3 years ago.
Cody was big for that. I feel
Exactly.
like, too.
Cody
Yeah.
going to AEW, starting AEW, then becoming like not a competitor, but a real alternate.
Yep.
And then Cody jumping back over. Like it's been incredible.
Yep.
We drafted events you would wish to attend, like bucket list sporting events. I completely blanked on WrestleMania. It's definitely a goal of mine to get to one of those. It seems
So
awesome.
Oh, it should be. It's awesome.
Those early ones that are outdoors too are fucking crazy, right?
They still do them outdoors
outdoors?
sometimes.
Yeah.
This year will be indoor because of Vegas, obviously. But they do outdoors all the time. Last year was outdoors in Philly. It was freezing.
Ooh, that's cold.
Yeah, see, I'm a little like they did that one at Levi in San Francisco, and it was still light out.
I was there.
You were there, like that.
Yeah.
That kind of sucked.
Yeah, it was daytime the whole time. I got the worst sunburn of my life. You wouldn't believe how bad the sunburn was.
It's got to be nighttime to like.
Yeah, well, Undertaker came out during the daytime, and it was like, all right.
Yeah.
Can't be doing
we can't
the
be
lights
doing
off.
that. And I was really pissed off about that. I could go on a whole rant about it, but it was after the streak ended. It was daytime. I said, this is the perfect opportunity to bring the American badass Undertaker back, not the dead man. They didn't do it. It's a rant for another time, Eddie.
It's a miss. It's a miss. So, yeah, we could get going here. We could do the order. But, yeah, I would say Robbie's at a distinct advantage because he has like a whole category of new guys that we just don't have and can't really break down. But we'll see what happens.
Let's have a vote. Let's have Robbie's percentage in the polls. Everyone that agrees, say aye. Aye.
Yeah, we won't have a vote off this one. We only got 4. All right, let's get into it. Robbie, Lance is a number 1 through 4 behind his back. What number is it?
2.
No.
Yeah, Jeets.
No,
It is not 2. KFC.
It is 3.
It is not 3.
Fuck!
Clem.
It's 1 because I'm going to get the 1 pick, which I never want.
It's not 1.
4. I think I'm gonna take the third pick. 1 through 3, Robbie.
Do you?
Actually, I guess it doesn't.
I think this is the kind of draft where there's not even a clear 1-1.
That's true. But
There's
I
many.
have one that I
Yeah.
want. But yeah, I don't. It's not going to guarantee a win or anything.
I'll go 1.
It is 1.
Okay. I'll take the second pick.
1 or 2, Kevin.
2.
2, correct.
I'll take the first pick.
Okay.
All right. That makes you in the 4 slot, Clem.
And now I'm kind of pissed I didn't get I don't think I'm going to get my guys here. And now I'm pissed that I didn't get the 1 pick.
See, I don't know.
I'm
I
wondering
took
if
third
the 3
strategically.
guys are all
I
gonna
think you
fight
can really
over, like,
load
a
up and
tag
get
team.
like a
We'll
really
get to it.
good looking board late because you're going to be able to get some heavy hitters.
And I'm in the little corner in the 4 pick. I could just get weird with it at some points. And boys, I might get weird. I don't know how this is going to go. This will be very interesting.
Now that I have the 1 pick, I'm thinking about being able to snake back to back is probably more valuable. But I'm happy that I'm going to get the guys that I'm going to get because I want them.
That's good. Before we get into it, though, guys, I want to talk about Game Time. NFL playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard to get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to puck drop. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. Plus, on April 22nd for Earth Day, when you select and purchase a super deal, Game Time will plant a tree with the proceeds. I was looking at tickets to the Vegas night since we were talking Vegas and Robbie going to WrestleMania. Looks like their Game 1 opening round date. Tickets as low as $79. So go check that out. I don't know what you're waiting for. Go buy those tickets now. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game Time. All right, Kev, lead us off.
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. The Road Dogg Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. They are, to me, like the quintessential Attitude Era DX tag team. We Clem, before you came on, we were discussing like we can't pick like stables or factions, but can we pick individuals who like team up and all that? But to me, these guys are like, they are a tag team. They were a package duo. They were, along with Triple H and Shawn Michaels, responsible for the proliferation of Suck It. DX is not who they are without them. It's the New Age Outlaws for me. And now, like I said, now that I have the 1 pick and I'm thinking about some of the other people that you guys can scoop up, you could say they're equal to, if not better than. But like I said, for me, in my era, who I want the list to reflect at the end, having Road Dogg Jesse James and Badass Billy Gunn can't be beat for me.
Respect. I think that's a respectable 1-1, especially a child of the Attitude Era.
Right.
They are like, if you wanted to encapsulate what was the Attitude Era in 2 minutes, you could show someone their entrance.
Exactly.
And the whole crowd going along with it.
Yes, the speech, the Suck It, the names, Billy Gunn just being like this guy who just shows his ass. I mean, the whole thing was just ridiculous. It was unbelievable.
Longevity, too, because they came back and had a tag team run in like 2014. That was great. Like, people loved them. 6-time tag team champs.
Also, Road Dogg is such he's just a wrestler. You know what I mean? He's not like some specimen. He's just like he's a
gross guy.
Yeah,
absolutely disgusting looking human being.
That's the guy I want.
Yeah,
love it.
There are many things in life that are probably range from unimportant to important that I will forget. I will never forget the New Age Outlaws. Right?
Yep.
That's one thing I will always be able to drop on a dime. So I like the pick. It also kind of goes, I don't know. We'll see how the draft shakes out. I have a feeling how I think the next three will shake out. And I kind of want to ask you something about the New Age Outlaws, but regardless, the New Age Outlaws were great. They are a true tag team within the stable as well. And honestly, obviously Triple H was the star, but they fucking held their own within that whole faction.
Oh, yeah. That entrance. Woo, baby.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children, generation has proudly brings to you.
Yes.
It's WWF Team Champions of the World. Games. That is Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. And if you're not down with DX and the New Age Outlaws, we got 2 words for you. Suck it. Oh, just
so
I
good.
watched that like a couple months ago just to see if it holds up. It was even better than I remember.
Yeah.
And you just watched the signs in the crowd, the things people were doing. It was, it was lawless. I mean, the Outlaws were perfect, right? And they were I think with the wrestling, there's 2 ways you can look at wrestling. There's the entertainment factor, then there's the actual physical, wrestling and technical, whatever. They were much more the showmanship, right? I don't think anyone's going to say the Road Dogg was this expert, but man, he just got on that mic and he made you forget he was a white guy with braids that look stupid in 99.999% other places in the world. And I just love it. The shimmy that he would do, the guy, his whole thing was about his ass. It made no sense, but it was absolutely perfect for the realm it was in. And Kev, once you were I wanted the 1 pick, and then I was oh shit, he's definitely taking the New Age Outlaws. I'm not getting him at 4. And I got kind of sad
guys.
because they were just
I always go to
best, man. Just the best.
The news report on teenagers are saying "suck it."
Yeah.
That infamous one. It's those guys had an impact on boys. 12
my
through
brother
15.
My brother went to a WWF show with his friend, and his friend said, "I'm getting a Road Dogg shirt." My brother said, "Well, I guess I'm getting the Mr. Ass shirt." Came home, my dad was mowing the lawn, didn't even make it to the house. He saw the shirt, said, "Take that right off." My dad grabbed it by the collar and stepped through it. Just shredded it in half, threw it in the garbage, sent my brother in shirtless.
I will say, I love the New Age Outlaws. I hated Mr. Ass, as a solo. They needed to be the New Age Outlaws. I hated the whole shtick
love
of
Billy
his
Gunn,
butt.
though. Billy Gunn's the man.
He's
He's still getting in the ring and, wrestling.
Really?
He's in AEW now. He's, a producer there. Road Dogg's a producer in WWE. It's crazy to look back at DX and realize that Shawn Michaels now runs NXT. Triple H runs WWE.
They're the most important,
It's literally they just
powerful
run
people.
wrestling now.
Yeah. That's sick. That's awesome.
They are the epitome of the sum is greater than its parts, right? Because on their own, when they wrestled individually, you're all right, I'm gonna go go to the bathroom now or something. But when they're together, you couldn't look away. It was incredible. And it's funny you say this, boys, because when we said we were doing this draft, my old ass, 40 plus right now, looked up Degeneration X shirts, and I was looking to buy one for myself, and I saw one in the wild, a DX the jersey. And it says "suck it" right on it. And
I know, 69 too. You
what am
can't
I
be wearing
doing?
that.
Suck it 69 is a
I'm
bit
the opposite of Robbie's dad, where I'm looking to purchase a suck it shirt. But that's, again, the children of the Attitude Era. We've grown up, and our brains are forever destroyed because of it. I mean, look, that's probably why I work at Barstool. All of us work at Barstool because DX has a part in ruining our brains.
I think I might have told this story before, but I wasn't allowed to wear anything that said "suck it" as a kid. Mama Fox was absolutely not. And then DX put out this shirt that said "Vince loves" and had a chicken on it, pointing to himself, obviously insinuating Vince loves cock. Yeah. I thought, as a naive 7-year-old boy, this meant Vince is a chicken. So I went up to my mom, family party, all the families around. I said, "Mom, there's finally a DX shirt I could buy." She said, "All right, what does it say?" And I said, "It just says Vince loves cock." Right in front of the whole family, 7 years old. Her jaw hit the floor. She could not believe it. She was like, "That definitely doesn't mean what you think it means." Yeah. Did not get that shirt.
That's incredible.
That's very funny.
One last thing on Road Dogg too, and because I feel like the conversation is what famous person would you love to meet at a bar? And of course, the A-listers are there for the taking, right? You love to see a Bill Murray or a Leo or whatever, but I gotta tell you, like as a real fringe person, like driving through, like I imagine driving through like Ocala, Florida at one point, and just seeing Road Dogg at a dive bar. And honestly, I don't think there's anyone else I'd rather lob some pussies to. You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't that be special?
Yeah.
Dude, so special. I'm so happy you guys are saying these things because I got nervous about making it my one pick when you guys started saying you don't want the number 1 overall pick. I think they are these, like what you're describing, Eddie. Yes, these guys are that important.
They are.
I don't know how the booking situation works at Barstool in 2025. Let's get Road Dogg on the goddamn dog.
Yeah.
Come on, promote
it.
your
I think
thing,
we could definitely get
Jesse James. Get the Road Dogg on the dog walk. Perfect. It's named after him, basically.
Yeah. All right, Robbie, you're up.
So I would say there's not a 1-1 pick because there's so many amazing tag teams through so many different eras. My first pick is going to be the first tag team I looked at and said, that's who I want to be like. They're the coolest fucking people I've ever seen in my life. It's the Hardy Boyz. Yeah. It's Matt and Jeff Hardy.
That was going to be my other
You
pick.
look back at WrestleMania 17, the TLC match, the famous TLC match. They might not have been the victors, but they were the victors because of all the spots they were doing. And credit to them for
I'll tell you,
putting their bodies on the line. Their
I thought
bodies
they
are
won
gone.
the match.
They didn't. No,
But they did.
That's what
They won.
history
Yeah.
looks back on because it's the swanton bombs, the leg drops, Jeff Hardy getting speared off
in
the
the
friggin'
air.
title. Like they did so many fucking crazy things throughout the years too, where they were a tag team in the Attitude Era. Amazing. They were a tag team when I was a kid. Amazing. Then they went off, had solo careers. Jeff Hardy went and won a world title. Matt Hardy went off, reinvented himself in a different company. Then they got back together. They're still tag teaming to this day. Do their bodies work anymore?
No, they do not.
They don't, but that's okay because we got so much entertainment out of them. The fucking armbands, their fucking dances when they would come out. They would literally go to a place called Thrash and Vaudeville in the city to get outfitted, and that's where like rock stars would go.
Cool.
So they were just the fucking coolest.
And what was her name? Lita with the thong over her pants
Yep.
was so Attitude
helping
Era.
them out in the TLC matches.
Yep.
Like they would have
Oh,
like,
she was the
you know,
best.
someone would come out to help another tag team. Lita would come out to help them.
Yep.
I fucking love the Hardys.
I-
Jeff Hardy's like the coolest wrestler.
Watching them go from like a Sunday Night Heat type of booking to like growing the
They were
ladder,
the fucking
like,
jesters that opened the doors of the Royal Rumble when they were like
way.
kids.
Wow.
And then they went on to be like
I
one
mean,
of the
the
greatest tag
Swanton
teams
Bomb.
ever.
I picked the New Age Outlaws because of the mic work and DX and all that. But if you're talking about just best wrestling, there's still a couple other cases to be made. We'll talk about them.
there definitely are.
But
They're up there.
like for what I like the high flying, like acrobatics and taking
Extreme.
bumps, it's them.
Yeah.
It's, jumping off of the fucking jumbotrons and all that. It's them. Those guys are crazy.
Yeah, no disrespect to like the tag team format, but I think we all agree like usually when the big dogs are wrestling, the one-on-ones are those are the main events. When the Hardy Boyz were wrestling tag team, you weren't changing the channel. You were glued and being like, I don't know what I'm about to see. And there was always a chance you were going to see something you've never seen before. We'll see again. I actually just found out like this weekend there was an Instagram ad. They're wrestling in White Plains, Kev. They're wrestling, but it's the night of the goddamn Barstool at the ballpark. That was our first Barstool at the ballpark.
Isn't it a whole weekend? That maybe not them wrestling specifically, but I feel like they're at County Center for like.
They might be for some meet and greets and stuff, but then I'm also like Rob said, I don't know if their bodies even work. I don't want to see it, and I can't show AJ like, hey, dude, let's get into wrestling. Here are these guys that'll jump off the top of the roof. Like that's how you end up with a kid with 7 broken bones, right? So they're the best, though, man. Great pick. Them and the New Age Outlaws I had as 1-2, and now I'm kind of at a tier below. I'm so mad I missed out on both of them.
Yeah, they're both great. It's a great pick. I think they just don't get enough credit for they changed the way I look at ladders.
Ladders become a weapon. They become a tool. They become,
I know, like even as an adult, like every ladder I see, it's like, man, Jeff Hardy would love that fucking thing. He'd swan from someone off there. And a testament to them too is like, by all accounts, like they were kind of weird. Like they weren't that.
They were
cool, but
totally
cool.
weird. They were like the angsty. They were basically like school shooters.
Jeff Hardy, they called the rainbow-haired warrior.
Yeah,
it's like a weird thing for sure.
It was always strange, but they made weird shit.
The
cool.
mesh shirts, the fucking cargo pants,
the gloves with the fingers and all that shit. They were definitively weird, but
their music was fucking great too.
Yeah,
that music.
Like
they're not brothers, right?
They are.
They are brothers for real.
Yeah.
Being a kid who was like into sports, like I would like you figured you wouldn't have liked those guys, but you did. They
Well, that's a good thing about wrestling. It's a little bit theatrical. It's a
Makes
little
you
bit
cultured.
But like, yeah, there's some weird shit. There's some gay shit. There's some corny shit. There's some artsy shit, and it all comes together.
Something for
like,
everybody. That's what I say all the time when people are like, I don't like wrestling. I'm like, you just haven't watched enough of it. There's definitely something you
for
would
everybody,
like.
for sure.
Yeah. All right, I'm up, and I'm just going to go right down the line. I'm going to get the tables, and I'm going to take the Dudley Boyz.
What you said about ladders, I think about tables. When I see somebody like setting up tables, I'm like, get the tables. I mean, that would have been.
I mean, speaking of culture, talk about brothers that absolutely tore down race boundaries. I think they had. It's like the meme of the Bloods and the Crips. Like back in the day, the Dudleys were influential.
Bro, them putting Mae Young through a table is one of my favorite things of all time. that they were incredible. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the three, right? Like in my mind, like. Maybe there's some new age.
There's definitely another one.
Yeah, there's one more.
I don't wanna, there's
one more, and that's what I don't know. I'm interested to see if Clem goes there, but that's kind of what I wanted to ask. Is like, I guess like how it felt like the New Age Outlaws, like they could have been the fourth in there, but they weren't. Robbie.
I know, because they were more the promo tag team, and the other three were more the workhorse wrestling. We're gonna destroy our bodies for the sake of entertainment and the crowd. You know what I mean? Like,
yes.
But they definitely were like in the mix for sure.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of interesting that they never found their foreign object and like made this like a fatal four-way tag.
Well, that was
match,
the other
right?
thing. Everyone else had a foreign object. Everyone had like one associated with their tag team.
Exactly. So yeah, the Dudleys were great, man. Obviously, you got the great catchphrase. You got the ECW background, which made them a little more fucking hardcore.
The three Ds.
No pun intended.
Awesome. What do you call it? Like a tag team finisher?
One of the greatest tag team finishers ever, if not the greatest.
Yeah.
You get Spike Dudley coming out, interfering in matches. That little lunatic.
Spike Dudley, forgot about him. The one of my all-time the intersection of blogging and wrestling is very. I mean, the Venn diagram is one circle. Anytime if there was two bloggers versus one enemy, if you will. You go to GIF, you cut out your head and my head, put it on the Dudley Boyz, and we 3D Jamie O'Grady from the Cauldron or whatever. Whoever it is we're fighting, that was like the go-to thing for wrestling and blogging.
Yeah, the Dudleys are great, and they were like perfectly out of shape, but like still. But fucking
still awesome athletes.
Work their ass off.
Great gear, the camo, the glasses, so distinct.
He would
the
put them through, and then
with the firework going down. Yeah.
When they would put someone through a table and like the banding around the table would like still be the wood would break, but the banding would be there, and then he would just sit there and oh, so good.
Were you a Dudley guy, Clem? Is that where you would have went there, or?
I mean, this is why I'm going to take the one pick next time I get the number, because these are my three. And I know who the fourth is, and I'm going to take them because they probably are the pick. But I love the Dudleys and the Hardys more. I don't know which. I think I would have taken Hardys first, but it's very much how I felt in the moment. They both are BOYZ, by the way, right? Hardy Boyz.
Yeah.
I love that.
To be that
so fucking early 2000s attitude era.
And it's kind of a miracle. Like you look at the stature of both groups, how they had so many great matches.
I know,
dude. Those guys, that's why I say it's like the greatest entertainment ever, because it's like it was all great scripts and dialogue, but also these guys put on fucking a show, man.
Yeah,
giving up their bodies, flying off of shit. Like it was.
And people have the audacity to use the F word and say fake.
Not around here. Not
the
around
audacity.
All right, Clem, you just want to take them so we could really flush this out?
Should we just like get the graphic and just go boom, boom, boom? Maybe then that'll get people like you'll see it and just watch the old matches. Sure, why not? I mean, I probably wouldn't have taken them first round, but they were going to go second round then. Edge and Christian. I don't know if they even have a team name. They're just Edge and Christian, right?
Edge and Christian, yeah, that's it.
I think of them as a significant drop down, though.
Well, you know what's interesting? They won every single TLC match. Never lost one of those matches.
So let me say this. I actually think wrestling-wise, they're probably on par with everyone else. But, like, character-wise, mic work, all that shit, I don't put them on that level.
I'd say they're probably better wrestlers than the other ones. But
I don't know. They had the 5-second pose. People fucking loved that. They would come out dressed all goofy and shit and do for the purpose of entertainment. Yeah.
Okay, but, like, New Age Outlaws, DX. Dudley Boyz, everything we just described. Hardy Boyz, like, changed the game. These guys were just like the other dudes. Yes, they were. They were.
You can't do that to Edge and Christian.
Different though. Later on,
you can replace Edge and Christian. You can't replace these other ones.
No.
Yes, you can.
No.
If you found 2 other athletic guys who were willing to take bumps, you could replace Edge and Christian.
Incorrect. Edge and Christian were as instrumental to the tag team era and the TLC match as anybody.
That is not true.
You got no TLC match without Edge and Christian.
No, that's not true.
Because they were associated with the chairs. They were the chairs.
You're right. But other people could be those guys.
No.
You could have grabbed 2 freaks from ECW and do that.
Well, Edge was the best singles wrestler of the whole first round right now. Right? Like, that's not
remember Edge versus Test?
Edge or Jeff Hardy, but probably Edge, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like Kevin said, like Edge was fighting Test back when Test was watching. He doesn't realize what Edge became at the end of his career.
Rest in peace, Test.
The spear was, I don't know.
Yeah,
Whatever,
but listen, like, there is a little merit to what Kevin's saying, because they went fourth. Like, we clearly.
I wouldn't have taken him fourth. But yes, keep going.
Yeah, they somehow were. They won all the time, like Robbie said, but they somehow were the least exciting out of the 3.
Totally.
Somehow.
As a kid, I'm never rooting for them. I'm always rooting for the Hardys, maybe rooting for the Dudleys.
Come on.
Dude, you got to show Christian some respect.
No, I will not respect Christian.
Christian deserves
Edge
respect.
maybe. Christian is the most replaceable guy in the world.
No,
bro, you guys are being disingenuous. You are being disingenuous.
We're not. And what Christian went on to do in his later career, his 2011 World Heavyweight Championship run.
He won the World Heavyweight title?
Of course he did. After Edge had to retire in 2011 after WrestleMania 27, he got a neck surgery, and Christian went and won the world title from Alberto Del Rio in a feel-good moment. Edge was there ringside. It was amazing. And now Edge is back, and they're both back, and they're both in AEW. They're about to team up. It's going to be great again.
Crazy Christian.
Now,
who do you like better, Shane O'Mac or Christian?
Christian.
Guys throwing Shane O'Mac. What are we doing here right
Shane
now?
O'Mac is a gimmick, and it's great. He could jump off a scaffolding, jump off a helicopter.
If you had to erase one person from wrestling, you would erase Shane O'Mac over Christian?
Yes,
this is insanity.
I would rather get the TLC match than the fucking,
look,
bad. Shane O'Mac jumped off another building.
You could put Shane in Christian's spot for those matches, and they would have been better. Yes, they would have.
He would just jump off a big building again.
He would. Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Bob, show this guy a TLC match when you're done. He's
I
clearly
know,
never
this guy,
watched
he needs to rewatch WrestleMania 17.
I'm not saying that they were not good in TLC matches. I'm saying that Christian is replaceable.
No.
Christian.
Let's just also, the Brood was weird. Like, that was just
I'd rather watch Gangrel.
I'd
rather watch Gangrel.
The Brood.
I'd rather watch Viscera and Gangrel than Christian.
Don't you say that.
No. Honestly, though, if we were drafting factions, like, I would have the Brood higher. Like, I like the Brood more than I'd like Edge and Christian.
I think that's
the
a fair
Brood's a
take.
great gimmick. Yeah,
Brood's
because
a great
Edge and
gimmick.
Christian fucking stink.
No.
There are better tag teams.
This is Canada is going to be pissed at you, Kevin.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Fucking Canadians. Get out of here.
All right, Clem, second round. You're up again.
All right, listen, I'm just going to say this. This is why I take the fucking 1 pick, because then I know I'd have one of those 3 on my board. I don't have it. And now I got the Edge and Christian, who are the Edge and Christian of wrestling tag teams. God damn it. All right, I'm sure that we'll be dipping in some fucking super teams as, the NBA tried to take it away. But the real super team, the big boys, the guys who changed the game forever, the outsiders. I'm doing Scott Hall,
I would have taken
Kevin
that over.
Nash.
He got them both, so it doesn't matter. But I would take Kevin Nash and Scott Hall over Edge and Christian.
Yeah.
What are we talking
You could
about?
flip-flop.
We were
You could
completing
flip-flop.
the TLC fucking on the graphic, Kevin. Settle down.
You're right. But
Good pick. Obviously, maybe the most iconic debut in wrestling when they just show up. You know who we are, but you don't know why we're here. And it's like, oh shit, people truly believed that they were like sleeper cells from WWF coming over. Like, people couldn't even process that. And then you again, I don't want to say it with every tag team, but you look at what they went on to do after that, and it's like no-brainer pick. Great pick. Great merchandise. Great name, The Outsiders. Just very simple, but absolutely tells you everything you need to know about them. They were the Outsiders. And you could argue both way cooler as their own people than they were as their characters. I mean, Razor Ramon is pretty fucking cool. It's hard to get cooler than that. But going from Diesel to Kevin Nash, much cooler.
Yeah, Kevin Nash was that dude. I got in a fight. Kevin Nash blocked me on social media.
No.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Nash. We have the same birthday.
Me
July
too.
9th.
I remember being like, dude, I love you. I don't know what this was about. But then I think I remember finding a tweet that I was like, yeah, I would block me for that too. Well deserved.
Oh man.
Now-
Kevin, you go ahead. You got it.
There, I think there's actually a real argument to be made that they're the most important tag team of all time.
Yeah.
You can make that argument for sure. Absolutely. Because if they don't jump to WCW, do we even have a Monday Night War?
Right. I mean, the NWO, the whole thing is predicated upon them, really.
Instrumental.
And the only reason why they're not the number one pick in this draft is because they split off more. Like they were more singles guys than they were as a tag team.
Right.
Really.
And faction, like, quickly when the third man joined, the Outsiders weren't as much a tag team. They still would have tag team matches and team together. But I feel like
they
people
became
think
a
of them as
crew.
the three.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing is like the iconic moment that comes out of that is an Outsiders match, right? And I didn't watch a ton of WCW early in the NWO days, but I feel like they probably had the titles for a while, right?
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't imagine they were dropping those very easily. So and like again, Kevin kind of just drafted a bunch of like D tier wrestlers with the number one pick. These guys were fucking heavyweight, intercontinental, big dogs that were fucking, and the godfathers of the NWO. He got kind of like DX's, fucking 7 and 8 hitters, basically.
Yeah.
And it kills me to fucking do that to the New Age Outlaws, but I felt there was a
He's
lot of
trying to hit
slander
a
towards
spin
my
zone, folks.
nice Canadian boys on the last pick.
All right, good pick. You kind of threw me for a loop. I thought there was two, and I was two available, and I was going to take the opposite. So I'm kind of in a bind now. Not in a bind, but I'm going to have to make a tough decision. Before I make that decision, though, I'm glad I have Ghost Energy here with me because I need to be locked in on this one. You guys got Ghost over there? You guys got a favorite flavor?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got, Robbie? What's your favorite flavor? Do you have one?
Same one you got right there.
The tropical mango?
Yeah.
I think it's the best looking can. I love
really
the tropical
is.
mango
Good
flavor.
branding.
What'd you say?
It's good branding. You're right. It's a nice looking can. That matters these days.
It does, yeah. It's a beautiful looking can, and also big new Strawbango is here, and it's permanently here. It's sold exclusively at Circle K. It's a perfect duo of fresh strawberry paired with sweet and sour mango for a crisp and refreshing flavor for any occasion. Like all other Ghost Energy, it's fully transparent, fully loaded, feel good energy with zero sugars, no artificial flavors, and 200 milligrams of natural caffeine. I love the Welch's grape. That's a great flavor. I don't know if you guys have tried that one, but if you have not, you need to get on that. And one more time, that Strawbango flavor, it is sold nationwide at Circle K stores, and it's here to stay. All right. I swerved last minute.
Are you went off the two and now you're going to a third?
No, I thought I was going to go pretty heavy on one of the two, but I guess I'm going to go with what meant more to me. And this was the perfect sweet spot, and it's the Rock and Sock connection.
Nice. Very good pick.
Dude, I thought you were anti this.
I'm not
saying. You
anti
said it
this.
was a bad pick. That's what I was thinking.
I'm anti if like I'm sure like the Rock and Austin have like tag teamed once. Like that's
I see
different,
what you mean.
know?
No, but like a tag team like that won the belts or were like together. Yeah, I mean to me, Rock and Sock Connection, it was one of the most electric duos ever.
Definitely.
Yeah, like they had a name. They were with each other for a decent amount of time. Just pairing Mankind's like comedic value with the Rock seriousness, it worked perfectly. Mr. Sacco, you name it, they were legit. They were the real deal.
Top rated segment in Raw history, the This Is Your Life that Mankind did for The Rock. Apparently, it was just like people kept tuning in, and they're like, yep, that was the highest rated moment of the Attitude Era, shockingly.
I mean, Mankind to me deserves like all of wrestling should give him some money.
Yep.
Like what he did to his body, the Hell in a Cell. The night he won the belt was
All time.
Again, you want to tell me wrestling's fake? Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Mick Foley winning the belt and like the whole company coming out for him and the fans recognizing what was going on in that moment.
WCW spoiled it that night.
That's right,
And basically dug their own grave with it. Eric Bischoff said, hey, don't tune into those assholes. Or it might have been Shivani said, don't tune into those assholes, you know. They got Mankind winning the title tonight. That'll put butts in seats, right? And they laugh at him. Everyone's like, we got to see that.
Yeah,
that sounds awesome.
That's like free promotion right there, you fucking moron. So that was, that duo was so goddamn funny.
Yeah, they were dynamite. What do you
Mick
say,
Foley's
Clem?
my favorite wrestler ever. Mankind is my favorite persona, but Mick Foley's my number one by far.
When he came out at the Rumble as
All three.
it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually so. This year in fantasy baseball, we have like team theme names. So like last year was Sopranos characters. This year it's wrestlers. I'm Mick Foley. I got all three, the faces of Foley. You'd love it. Such a preposterous fucking character looking back now. But Mankind, like from that, Rob, like I was always like a WWF guy back in the day. But when they did that to my guy Mick, I was dead. WCW was dead in my eyes from that point forward when they spoiled it. And the fact it was like you said, it kind of like swung the tides of it all. I was hoping I would get this one back. I didn't know how it would not go, to who. But like the Rock and Sock connection, like you said, every time it came out, it just made Mr. Sacco, by the way. I can't believe how big of a star he became.
Oh yeah.
It was. I thought it was like
Mandible
going to be a
Claw
1 or
in
2
general was
episode
such a-
thing. He was there for like 5 years. Like by the end of it.
Now let me just ask you something, Clem. In a vacuum, if you had to pick people, would you rather The Rock and Mick Foley or Edge and Christian?
Edge and Christian versus
You can't
your bum.
compare
It's like
him
same
like
thing,
this,
Kevin.
though. You can't compare him like this. This is like one of the all-time
Can't
great
I,
tag
Bob?
teams versus like an
the Rock
all-time
and
great
Sock
tag
Connection.
team. But
Yes,
we're
I know.
talking about
Rock and Mankind, one of the
Rock and
greatest
Sock
tag teams of
Connection.
all
What do they
time.
have? A dozen matches together. Edge and Christian have thousands.
12 really, really good ones.
Agreed. I don't want to talk shit on Rock and Sock. I love the Rock and Sock.
Yeah, man. We did the Fathletes draft. Fatletes, however you want to say it, like best big man athletes, and two other people. I had Mankind just like locked and loaded for my 5th round. Like I knew I needed him, Mick Foley, whatever. And two other guys, I forget who took Andre and the Big Show, which whatever. Like not taking anything away from them, but it just can't be expressed enough how fucking much of an athlete Mick Foley
Yeah,
was.
like Andre the Giant, and like they were big, they could move around, but they were pretty much just like big guys,
Yeah.
Mick Foley, the things he was doing, man, his
my God.
ass in those brown pants looked so weird.
Yeah.
And when he would get like literally every inch of his ass was covered in thumbtacks.
Yeah,
It's like this is fucking gruesome,
Even
dog.
just you watch back some of the videos of what at the time were like not simple things he was doing, but the bang bang elbow off the apron that he would do onto the floor.
Yeah, like those hurt, bro.
Destroyed his hip.
I'm
Just
sure.
destroyed it.
Just do it on the ring, dude. Like
Yeah.
there's a spot that you're supposed to do it there. I mean, hardcore matches, ruined his life probably.
Yeah.
And my boy had range too. Like when he played the Mankind character, he got into some weird places with the
Oh, yeah.
Undertaker
Oh,
and shit.
yeah.
Like the promos he cut, and then you watch some of those Japanese matches with Terry Funk.
yeah.
This
Oh, yeah.
dude, I mean, how he's still walking. He survived. Did you see that car
Barely
crash?
is.
His car was destroyed.
I know,
and he
recently.
like walked away from it. I'm like, this guy is.
I'll tell you, there's footage of Mick Foley that almost made me not like Mick Foley. The footage of him when his family is like, don't go out there, and he's like, I gotta go
yeah.
wrestle. I was almost like,
It's like
I
The
don't know.
Wrestler. It's literally like,
yeah. It was like,
what are you
oh
doing?
man,
Yeah.
bro, like you don't need to do this anymore. But I mean, what he brought with Hell in the Cell it changed my life. Like it's like BC and AD in my life. It's like before I watched the Hell in the Cell and after.
And I just looked it up. They won the tag team belts
Oh, yeah.
3 times. So that's pretty
Yeah.
significant.
How many times did Edge and Christian win it?
More than
Probably
that.
100.
Robbie, you're up.
I know I'm the new school guy on this podcast, but I think the pick I'm about to make is the oldest pick we've got on the list so far. And it's another one where, as a kid, when I'm introduced to wrestling and my brother's showing me the VHS tapes from when he was a kid watching it, the tag team that really caught my eye was a tag team that would come out to a song that went, "Ooh, what a rush." It was the Road Warriors, the Legion of Doom, Animal and Hawk. These guys were the coolest looking motherfuckers on the planet. I was a little scared of Animal because he had a fucking spider painted on his forehead. I was scared of spiders. Hawk, I thought was badass. He had the only reverse mohawk I've ever seen, where he shaved it down the middle and kept the 2 sides around it. They came out with the spikes, obviously. The shoulder pads looked so awesome. They would come out there. They had a WrestleMania where they came out on fucking choppers. They had a WrestleMania where they came back with Sunny, LOD 2000, and Sunny was looking better than she ever looked, like prime Sunny. But absolute legends of the game. When they refer to a huge pop in wrestling, they actually call it a Road Warrior pop, because nobody got a pop like the Road Warriors back in the day. Like if someone says, "Oh, you got a Road Warrior pop," it means you got the biggest pop absolutely possible. Their finisher was so amazing. The Doomsday Device, like one of the first real tag finishers that you could remember. You always want to do that with your buddies on a fucking Ninja Turtle stuffed animal or something. Absolutely love the Road Warriors to this day. Legends, obviously, rest in peace.
I thought you were gonna do some new age shit, and I was gonna be able to grab them.
No.
Fuck.
Yeah,
This is the thing. I'm a new age wrestling fan.
A lot of new age shit, and he's not.
I was raised by
a
a '90s wrestling fan. My brother.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of old school love.
It's a good strategy there. I feel like one of those things where I wish that WWE recorded were the creative meetings. Like, who would sat there and was like, they're going to wear shoulder pads.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have
that
spikes
changed
come out.
everything.
Also, I'm pretty sure invented Zubaz. I think they were two of the people very like instrumental in Zubaz for sure.
No shit.
All right,
Good
I gotta
pick.
get two.
Yeah, you get two back to back.
Should I go? I get two. Okay, I'm gonna do one. I'll take one early on. Big name. I'm actually personally not a huge fan of these guys, but I feel like it's probably the biggest left in some regard. The Hart Foundation.
Okay.
I'm going old school. I'll go Bret Hart. I'm not a Bret Hart guy.
What?
Yeah.
You have a thing against Canadians.
I don't know what it is. He just never.
You were a Shawn Michaels guy growing up?
Yeah, I think so. I think you kind of picked one or the other.
You definitely did, and I was more of a Shawn guy. But as I've grown up, the appreciation I have for Bret Hart has skyrocketed more than maybe any other wrestler alive.
Really?
Where I'm like, this guy was doing it the right way.
He
And
was
Bret
a
Hart's-
big superstar.
He's kind of cocky to this day where he's like,
He deserves it.
he's like, Hulk Hogan says that, like, I think I'm the greatest of all time. Well, yeah, maybe I do. He's like, watch the wrestlers of today. They're not trying to be Hulk Hogan. They're trying to be Bret Hart. And he's
that's
right.
true.
He's actually right because
You might
CM
have just
Punk
put me on
literally
to a
like
little bit more, yeah.
CM Punk does Bret Hart spots, like just to try to
Yeah.
recreate him. Cody Rhodes does Bret Hart spots, just to try to recreate
And
him.
again, with the blogging thing, the Montreal Screwjob is probably the most referenced thing of all time when somebody gets screwed.
Another great tag finisher, the Heart Attack. Mm-hmm. So good.
Yep, and shout out to his brother Owen?
No,
They're related?
they were related, yeah, but not
brothers. R.I.P. That
Jim
was
Neidhart,
crazy.
married
Neidhart
into
was
the
other
family.
guy. Right. That was like the other. Yeah. So I'll go with the Hart Foundation, and then this one's probably not high on many lists, but I'm gonna stick true to my Attitude Era roots, and I'm gonna go Scotty Too Hotty and grab Flash. Too cool.
I had a feeling you were going there. I swear I had a feeling you were going there.
Yep. Like, okay, I'm actually happy to hear that you were even upset about it because I was like, I love this and I remember this, and it was so stupid but so funny. Rikishi, the dance, the stink face, the worm. Jerry, the King's, it was the Jerry the King Lawler's son, right?
Yeah, Brian James.
And they were just like this ridiculous. I don't even know. Can you use the term anymore? The W term?
I don't think so.
I don't think you can.
I saw a
But
comedian
that's
do a
what they
joke about it
were.
recently. It was funny.
Yeah, that's what they were, and it was like at that time it was a very
the bucket
funny
hats,
thing.
the fuzzy hats, yeah.
Yeah, it was like we're making fun of that. It was
Clem knew the
yeah, he
dance.
knows the dance. Yeah, you'd be a great Rikishi, dude. Yes.
Oh, shit,
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I know
funny.
it's more of a two-man thing, but I get like Rikishi by extension, like through that. Yeah, so that I mean
That's the thing with a lot of these tag teams. It's almost like when you buy an action figure, you buy Superman, it comes with crypto. Like when you draft the Dudleys, I'm kind of counting Spike with it.
Yeah, you get a little bonus.
Yeah, for sure.
It sucks unless you get Edge and Christian, you get nothing there.
No, you get Rhino. Rhino came out. Remember, he speared Lita.
Right, Rhino.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right. I'll take early on Hart Foundation and Attitude Era Kings. Too cool.
Too Cool was awesome, man.
Yeah.
So awesome.
They really were the perfect song, and like to my knowledge, like that's where the worm is from.
I mean, they certainly popularized
I don't
it
think
for that
that's
area.
where
It's
it's
not
from.
where it
No
came
way
from.
is that where that's from.
Didn't they once? I want to say all three of them were in the Rumble and they danced.
They
instead
did it
of fighting,
together,
right?
yeah.
They stopped
Yeah.
and let's do the dance. Yeah, that was
So
awesome.
good.
Well, in my brain, just so people know, the worm was invented.
They
by
invented
Scott.
the word.
And I say that without an ounce of jokingness.
He's Tony
That's where I
Soprano in this
learned the
house.
worm. What?
Scotty Too Hotty is a hero.
Exactly.
When Too Cool hit, when they hit the way they hit, the creative team must have been like, we literally can't miss right now because they were hitting on all angles and like, all right, like what are we gonna do for this? I'll just throw, Lawler's kid and the other guy out there, and then like, holy shit, the fans love these guys too. Like they couldn't miss during this era where these guys were bottom of the barrel guys in a lot of people's eyes, and it just was the greatest gimmick ever. And I was praying to God they were gonna get back to me. Praying to God.
You're right, man.
Sorry, brother.
All right. My next pick, I'm going to go back to the Attitude Era. And I'm going to go with when you said maybe the biggest left, the first team that came to my mind, the Brothers of Destruction.
Fuck.
When The Undertaker and Kane finally teamed up.
I did. I had
that
that
was
on my list, and I kind of forgot.
Huge.
That
And you look back, and Undertaker was like half American badass already at that point. Yeah.
Behind, like,
Kane had the fucking
yeah.
cool half fucking. He had like a tank top on at the time. They just looked so badass, so hulking together when they won the tag titles together. And then later on, in the 2010s, you would have little moments on like a Raw anniversary show where the Undertaker would, or Kane would be triple teamed. Gone. Fucking Undertaker comes out to save his brother, and they have the history and all that. Dude, I love the Brothers of Destruction.
I would say that the Kane and Undertaker saga, again, I'm so prone to hyperbole, but that's like one of the greatest stories ever told. Like they came up with this whole thing with the fire and the brothers and Paul Bearer and like
Kane's debut, the Hell in a Cell match between Taker and Shawn Michaels.
Right. Well, I think I saw something recently that said they just created Kane because they were like, we need someone who can rival the Undertaker.
Yeah.
And they were just like, we needed to recreate another Undertaker because he couldn't like, he would beat everybody.
And they went straight Cain and Abel with it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like literally biblical. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, when you took Too Cool, which I would have loved to get them too. I was praying I'd get the Brothers of Destruction.
That was to me. I would still take Too Cool. I would rather them over the Hart Foundation, to be honest.
Brothers of Destruction or Too Cool? You mean
I would rather
Brothers of Destruction?
Yeah, I would rather keep. Yeah, I would rather take Kane and Undertaker with Too Cool.
The only criticism I can have of Brothers of Destruction, this just might be a me thing. There was a time where they were either teaming up together or fighting each other for like 5 years of Undertaker's career. I was like, at some point, can't we
Loki
do
and Thor.
something different?
They were Loki and Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good
Peter
point.
Griffin and the Chicken. Just destined to do this forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, great pick. And I'm gonna stick with the same wrestler, just a different partner, and I'm taking Kane and X-Pac.
I was thinking that was going to slip to me at the very end. I was thinking no one's going to take these
And you know
two.
what's funny is going into this draft, I was thinking I'm not going to take Kane and X-Pac because I think the three guys I'm doing a draft with all want Kane and X-Pac.
I was going to make it my number one pick. I was thinking about making my number
there was a
one
chance
pick.
you were gonna.
There was because I personally, if I was just to tell you my favorite tag team, it was them. I just thought that you were going to pick more pure teams like Edge and Christian, and these guys were going to slip to me. So I was trying to play it, and I played myself.
And talk about life-changing moments. When Kane turned on X-Pac, or when X-Pac turned on Kane, Jared Carabas's life changed forever. He could have been a happy guy, but that happened, and it just made him like a miserable guy. And he'll admit as much. We've actually talked to X-Pac about this, and X-Pac still gives him shit to this day. Someone tweeted X-Pac a few months ago. They said, I heard Jared hasn't gotten over the breakup yet. And he wrote back, I've heard the same. X-Pac, well, I think he texted Jared once, and he was just like, how you doing? You got over it yet? And Jared was like, not yet.
Yeah, that was an all-time, man. I loved that duo. The bucking bronco mixed with the choke slam. I'm mad at you, Eddie. Fuck.
But it's another testament to what Clem said, like how they threw Too Cool out there and like, yeah, like just go do your thing. I'm sure they figured those guys would be on Heat a lot. Maybe they'd be the first match on Raw. I don't exactly remember how Kane and X-Pac came to be a duo, but I imagine at some point, maybe singles-wise, they weren't, where like they had nothing for them. So like, yeah, just toss them together and they made magic. But I could be wrong on that.
And tag teams at the time, like we listed off so many, tag team wrestling was so much a bigger part of the show than it is now even, where it's like, all right, we have Kane, we have X-Pac, but we have a tag division that we need to fill up. Like we need someone to face, Edge and Christian or whoever it might be. So they throw them in there. And yeah, they were one of the first like odd couple tag teams, and Kane would go on to have a bunch of those in his career. Like almost modeled after the X-Pac tag team. He would team with goofy characters and work comedy segments, and it would work so well.
Isn't this where X-Pac Heat came from, Bob?
Yeah, X-Pac Heat, which is the opposite of a Road Warrior pop.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Go away, Heat. Yeah.
I love X-Pac though.
X-Pac is the best. Such an underrated wrestler too. When you go back and look at his matches, even not only as X-Pac, but as the 1, 2, 3 kid, he has great matches.
He could wrestle, man.
It was like the $10,000 match with Razor Ramon, where at that point it was like $1 million. He thought it was in a bag with a money symbol on it. So good. And X-Pac, if you look up, you want to see something funny, look up the 1, 2, 3 kid Hasbro, the figure that they made for him. The day before the photo shoot for the figure, I think it was maybe Owen Hart or someone shaved his eyebrows. So in this picture for the action figure, he's got no eyebrows. He looks insane.
It's kind of like what Kevin talked about blogging too. X-Pac and Kane were always like used as like if you had an odd pairing. I think Big Cat would go to the X-Pac and Kane well.
Barstool has kept this tag team alive more than anybody. Like more than WWE, Barstool talks about them.
Yes.
Yes. It's like, and it would be like, hey, have you ever had like a Twix bar and dipped it in like hot sauce? It's delicious. And you'd be like, no, that's disgusting. That's what X-Pac and Kane were in wrestling. It just worked. And I still have no clue how it worked, but it did. So God bless them both.
You're up, Clem.
I mean, literally, there's a world where I take a different number and I have my entire board and then I get the last one and I'm good. However, I'm not going to complain too much because I'm going to get the other super team that, I mean, another all-time GIF. I'm talking about when the Mega Powers shook those hands on Saturday Night Main Event or whatever it was. Hogan, Macho Man, as a kid of the pre-Attitude, I guess the Hogan era, that was the fucking team of all time. And granted, it's kind of more of these super teams that were thrown together for like a year or so. But when the Mega Powers got together and I was an Elizabeth guy, I was a Hogan guy, I was a happy man during that year of...
Oh, you were a Hogan guy and an Elizabeth guy. So did you, did you approve of Elizabeth maybe spending a little too much time around the Hulkster?
I was also, raised with, Catholic values at the time, so I didn't really know how that was going along. So I was confused. I mean, Elizabeth made me feel things I didn't even know was going on. So trust me, like whatever made Elizabeth happy is what I wanted to see.
The picture of the Mega Powers and Elizabeth in front of them, kind of her hands like on them, like holding them, that you could make the argument is like the most iconic picture of a tag team ever.
That's up there.
And I think when you have like big tag team, big team ups, I mean, granted, now we're getting a little old, but maybe 10 years ago, I think like, oh my God, this is like when the Mega Powers got together, right? If like, LeBron and Wade getting together was the Mega Powers for basketball. So, and it was like, I remember being a kid, be like, who the fuck is going to beat these? Like nobody can beat these guys. I thought they were invincible basically. So that was by far my favorite team. I love how Macho Man got the Hogan color scheme. And then like, it was such a big deal when they exploded. It was a headline. It was the headline of WrestleMania. So
Mega Powers collide.
Perfect way to describe how big it was.
It is so funny that Too Cool got taken before the Mega Powers.
It is. You're up again, Clem.
All right, and now my board from here on out, these are just traditional tag teams for the most part, and there's definite, you can pick nits on all these guys, but again, I'm going back to the blogging, the memes, whatever it may be, and my fellow snack boy here, I'm doing the natural disasters, and earthquake and typhoon. Whenever two big boys get together, and as a big boy for a good chunk of my life, always had a little soft spot in my soft heart for the natural disasters, and I mean, they were a fucking problem, though, let's be honest, and everyone forgets, Tugboat used to be a good guy, he was Hogan's boy, turned his back on Hogan, became Typhoon, Earthquake was a motherfucker who I thought was going to kill Hogan in that SummerSlam match. So then they got together with Jimmy Hart. I'm like, who the fuck are going to beat these guys now? Because the Mega Powers are no longer around. And it's just one of those teams that they were kind of like, they weren't obviously a super team, but they were two individual wrestlers that got thrown together. And it just kind of just fit perfectly, I thought.
And it's very fitting to draft them this year. They're going into the Hall of Fame this week, Clem.
Oh, hell yeah. Now, are either of them alive right now?
They are not. I don't think that, actually, is Typhoon? Typhoon might be alive.
I feel like you're like wrestlers alive since the 80s. You're at like a 10% hit.
Typhoon's alive. Fred Ottman, he is alive.
You
confirmed.
really are, like anybody over 50, it's like flip a coin. They're probably not alive.
Yeah.
Like these like wrestling, I'll see like a ad for a wrestling show and they'll be like, Earthquake's nephew will be there. Like they don't even have like his immediate family. It's like his extended family.
You know what's funny is my nephew, he's actually going to WrestleMania. It's going to be his first WrestleMania this year. He's 10.
The legend
We're
continues.
stoked, exactly. Yeah. My brother was at WrestleMania 10. I was at 29, and we're bringing him to 41. When he was a kid and we tried to introduce him to wrestling, he just decided Typhoon was his favorite wrestler, which is the weirdest thing I've ever seen a kid do.
That's great,
But
though.
he would be like 3 years old. We not even a big vocabulary. We'd be like, who do you want to watch? He'd be like, Typhoon. We had to buy him Typhoon action figures. He just loved Typhoon.
I've gotten AJ into the Knicks this year. Campaign is his favorite player. Like Brunson's his too, but Campaign is by far his number one.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, what am I going to do? Like, that's your dude.
Good pick. To me, I'm heavy attitude era because that's what I know, but I'm gonna go with APA.
Oh, I like that.
Oh,
They were on a
wow.
list. They were on my list.
Acolytes Protection Agency. It was a good gimmick. They would just sit in the back at a card table just playing cards, and somebody like, hey, we need your help, and they're like, all right, sure.
The clothesline from hell.
Yep.
Oh.
The clothesline from hell is an all-time finisher.
Who is wasn't there somebody who he beat the shit out of for real?
Yeah.
He didn't like sell a match or
The
something.
Blue
so he-
Meanie, yeah.
Yeah.
It was an ECW thing. Eventually, I think Stevie Richards got revenge by fucking clocking him with a steel chair, like as hard as you could ever imagine someone clobbering another human. But yeah, JBL, big polarizing figure in
Yeah,
wrestling.
because he would like throw his weight around. And, like,
Yeah.
fuck people. Speaking of this is off, but when Jeff Jarrett hit Hardcore Molly with the guitar, do you remember
Yeah.
that? That's like the most devastating.
Molly
that's ever-
Holly.
Molly Holly, yeah.
Yeah.
Just destroyed her with that.
I was
guitar.
going to bring up Jeff Jarrett before because you guys remember Road Dogg got his name as Road Dogg because he was Jeff Jarrett's roadie. He was like Jeff Jarrett's driver originally.
Huh? I didn't know that. But yeah, that's good.
That really brought the conversation to a screeching halt.
No.
Thought it was a fun fact. What the fuck?
Hey, actually, Ed, while we're doing that, let me just bring it back from Kevin's pick for the Hart Foundation. I didn't get to weigh in on that one. I stopped watching wrestling once Bret Hart became a headliner, and I got back in once he left WWF. So that was a shitty pick by you, Kevin.
It was a shitty pick.
Canadian.
I panicked. I just went with the big name, the biggest name left on the board. It was not a good pick by me. You're right.
No, but yeah, probably a little. It's hard to say that about the Hart Foundation, but it's just.
Well, that's the thing. I took it for name value, but I should have just gone with X-Pac. And I got too cute. I wanted to try to steal that at the end. I should have just taken someone who's more up my alley. Now I'm stuck with a Bret Hart pick. I don't even like Bret Hart. I told you I don't like Bret Hart.
Yeah, if you would have, and speaking of, you brought up the Bradshaw versus Blue Meanie, Stevie Richards. That's a great YouTube wormhole. If someone's bored tonight and wants to go watch all the interviews and watch the hit, it was the Blue Meanie did our fantasy football draft order last year.
Really?
Yeah, my friend's is weird, and the last 3 years he's got the Blue Meanie, Brad from the Real World, and Gangrel 3 years in a row. So,
Gangrel. Wow.
yeah. So that's a very good wormhole to go down. So, APA was like, I think they're a good fourth rounder. I think they're a perfect fourth rounder for me. I'm happy to get them.
That is an example of when two guys who I think are talented and people like, but they can't really find their niche, throw them in a tag team, give them the right kind of gimmick, and it just hit. Like, I couldn't care less about those two any other time they were on screen, but when they were the APA, and when was it, Farouk would go, oh, damn, right? Was that him?
Yep.
That was
Such
later.
a good bit. He would
And
just
then
show up, see
Bradshaw-
some absurd shit, and go, damn.
Yeah, damn. Bradshaw ended up getting like a decent gimmick, like later being like the rich rancher.
Oh,
But,
yeah. Very good gimmick, I would say. He was one of the most hated heels of my childhood. I fucking hated his guts. He'd come out with the limo, with the horns on the top of it, with his white hat.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I hated him.
Yeah, it was a good gimmick. Robbie, before you make your pick, I want to talk about DraftKings. The NBA 82 game grind is done, and now the real fun begins. The NBA playoffs are here, and it's time for the high-stakes drama, clutch moments, and jaw-dropping plays. If you're looking to make the playoffs even more exciting, DraftKings Sportsbook has you covered as an official sports betting partner of the NBA. From the playing games all the way through the finals, now's the time to back your favorite players and teams as they chase glory. All season long, DraftKings has been the go-to spot for NBA player props, and that doesn't stop now. Want to make the playoff experience even more intense? Try placing a bet on your favorite player's performance. Will they drop 30 points, 40 or more? It's your call. Ready to place your first bet? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Lock in your bets and let's make this playoff run unforgettable. Here's something special for first-timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Make it a playoff run to remember with DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code DOGWALK. That's code DOGWALK for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. All right, Robbie, back to you.
All right, I hope I don't lose you guys here. I'm going to start going modern.
See ya.
I'm going to kick it off with the longest reigning tag team champs of all time, 662 days, the Usos.
Even I knew that one.
Absolutely love the Usos. I truly believe, listen, if I was drafting just the best tag teams, they would be above some of the tag teams on my list, but I knew they would probably fall in this draft. Truly believe they're one of the greatest tag teams to ever do it. Twins that came in as just like, oh, they're Rikishi's sons, and they're Samoan, and they do face paint, and they do Samoan chants. And then they evolved into some of the greatest workers in the WWE. They've put on some of the best tag team matches we've gotten in 20 years. If you look at the best tag team matches of the last 20 years, they probably have 9 of the 10 of them or something like that. And then the evolution of the bloodline. This year, Jey Uso breaking off and becoming, he has a world title match this year. He won the Royal Rumble against Gunther. So, like, the fact that he broke off, became a star in his own right, main event Jey, they call him now. It's crazy. I never would have imagined it. It feels like almost like a Jeff Hardy going up and rising to that level. But the Usos are just the fucking best. And if you're someone that has fallen out of wrestling fandom and go back and you just pick a random Usos match, you will be entertained.
I mean, it's a testament. Even just Googling to make sure I, have my list. Like they were, as far as the new age people go, the one on every list. Like, no doubt about it. It seems to be they're the guys. All right, it's on me to wrap it up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say much about the Usos, but it sounds like they're good. Do they hold a candle? Like, would they be good in the Attitude Era? Or they
oh my God, they would destroy in the Attitude Era. They listen. If you want to replace Edge and Christian, you pop the Usos in there,
and I do, Okay, there's a lot of different ways I could go here. None of them are great, but part of me wanted to go like wrestling nerd and be like ECW, like Rob Van Dam and Sabu or something like that, or what was Public Enemy or New Jack? Who was New Jack with? He had like something like that. And then there was part of me that was like, just take the Bushwhackers,
the Hart Foundation.
No, the Bushwhackers, like right. But I think I'm going to pick the worst tag team of all time for my final pick.
Oh, you got 2 picks.
Oh,
two.
Two.
Yeah, one more round after that.
Oh, I thought this was
so you go back to back.
Oh, I'm sorry for even saying other people then. I thought this was a wrap here.
No, you go back to back.
But then you guys keep going?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So we have some more time then. Okay. I thought this was over. All right, let me then in that case, but these are my final picks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I will take well, actually, wait. Can I take Shawn Michaels and Triple H?
Yes, I would say yes.
I was trying to figure. I
They
think
were a tag team for a long time in
Generation
my
X?
childhood.
So then they're just like DX, right? I
Yes.
mean, I just get all of DX.
Yes, they were on my draft board.
Okay, so I will take them, and then for my final pick, I'm picking the worst tag team of all time. Test and Albert.
What the fuck?
Do you remember them?
Yeah, why would you pick them?
Because they are the worst. I want to highlight how bad of a tag team that was. The whole Prince Albert shtick was the most uncomfortable wrestling persona of all time. That fat, hairy back. And like
now let me ask you, do you remember what they were called? Test and Albert?
TNA.
TNA.
TNA, yes. Yes. The absolute woad.
And then the weirdest thing, years later, they bring back Prince Albert under a new gimmick, an Asian gimmick, Lord Hentai. Lord Hentai. What the fuck?
Although, as you say that, I maybe want to take Kai and Tai. They were a great one.
They were. We choppy,
dude.
yo,
Choppy,
pee-pee.
choppy, choppy, yo, pee-pee. that Yeah, that would honestly, because of that single moment, I would probably Kai and Ty deserve to be up there. But yeah, TNA, Test, I hate Test with a burning passion. That entrance music, that Test.
Yep.
Oh, they were the worst. They should have never been in the company. They were just, it was like, you know what it was? The peak of like SmackDown and Raw and the pay-per-views, and then you would be like, and now out comes TNA, and it was like bathroom break. Like
they wanted Test to
care.
be the next guy.
He was not. He
wasn't.
looked it. He looked the part, but
he
did not have an ounce of charisma.
I mean, he was the guy in the Stephanie McMahon Triple H marriage.
That's right.
So.
That's right. Yeah, they pushed it hard, but he sucked, dude.
Yeah.
TNA.
Didn't he start with Tori Wilson too? Was he with Tori Wilson for a bit?
You might be right about that. I think you are, Clem.
It was one of the I don't think it was Keebler. So it was one of the two. And I just remember being like, why the fuck does Tess get the what is she?
He got the biggest push ever, and it made no sense.
Like we talked about, when they for the two Cools and the X-Pac and Canes, they would have a TNA, and it would be like not even a swing and a miss, like a swing, and like the guy's top of his body rips off. Like it was such a miss. It was so disgusting. Bad. And they would kind of like keep trying to force feed it down your throat until finally the fans would like revolt, and they'd be like, all right, like back to the drawing board, and Lord Hentai would come back years later.
Wait, no, I'm wrong about that. It was Lord. It sounded like Lord Hentai. I think it was Lord like Tensai.
Either way,
but it was.
He's not.
They were referencing the fucking hentai.
Yeah.
Like in the creative rooms back then too, you could be like Test and Albert. They're like, I don't know, like we're gonna call him TNA.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, TNA became a company, total nonstop action, just because they were like, people will tune in for TNA, right?
Absolutely, they'll get tricked into it at least once.
It was Lord Tensai, by the way. All right, my final pick. It is my pick, right? I'm up.
Yeah. Also, we should know, like, just a sneaky good scoop there in the 4th round with Triple H and Shawn Michaels.
A great scoop, and honestly, I wanted them, and I was thinking they were a tag team in like 2006 was like the heyday of their tag. So I was like, these fucking guys aren't gonna pick them. So that
got you, bitch.
I was trying to slip, yeah. But I'm gonna stick modern. My final pick, I'm gonna go New Day, which like as a tag. They use the Freebird rule with the tag team. So when they won the tag team titles, it's 3 guys, and any 2 of them could defend the titles. I don't know if that's like allowed in this.
Yeah, I'll allow it.
I think it's fair, right?
Yeah.
It would usually be Kofi Kingston and Big E with Xavier Woods on the outside. The New Day, everything I said about the Usos, praising the Usos.
I think I'm mixing those 2 up.
Well, that's the thing, is you can mix them up. Like everything I
They're
said
just
about
like swaggy,
the Usos.
cool black guys, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
They fucking do hip swivels. They fucking shake their asses.
Look at Byron.
They have bootios they put out so you could eat booty.
Yeah.
Their own cereal. Yeah. Just great stuff. They throw pancakes out to the crowd. They just hit fans in the face with flapjacks. Some of the funniest guys, and their segments are legitimately like not wrestling funny, like funny. They're heels now. They just turned heel after years, kind of a John Cena type move where they were faces for so long, finally heels again. But I love the New Day. I was Kofi Kingston's partner in the Pro-Am at WrestleMania last year.
Yeah.
Instead of New Day Rocks, we were New Day Fox.
Love that.
It was a good tag team name ourselves. But again, everything I said about the Usos, you could pretty much parrot about the New Day, and their feuds together are what makes them so good. Like they are, if Austin and Rock are their own thing, like the Usos would be the New Day's Austin or Rock, however you want to flip them like that.
Is Big E back? Did he break his neck or something?
He did break his neck, and he's not back. There's no real word on whether or not he'll ever get back. We're hoping. Really? Like the latest word from Big E is like, I'm happy and healthy, and he still does appearances and analyst spots for WWE.
You know, in my unless you're a really, really good technical, like actual wrestler, I don't even need to see you get in the ring.
Yeah,
it's like when MJF didn't wrestle for like a year, but
they
he still
brought
was doing
him
spots.
back.
I'm like, that's all I need.
Yeah, they brought him back, and that's when they turned heel. They were like, you broke your neck, you fucking abandoned us. And he was like, I broke my neck, what the fuck? And they're like, exactly. Yeah. And you've been healed for how long? You've been recovering, you haven't been in our corner. It was like devastating to watch like Kofi Kingston, a lifelong babyface, go down that path.
Ooh, that is good.
When Robbie was breaking down everything they do, he could have just said, he's like, they have bootios, they throw pancakes in the crowd, even like they shoot fireworks out of their ass. I would have believed everything he said, Robbie. Now, I feel like this is another part of these guys that the only thing I know them from, I feel like they have a couple good gifts, like the spanking.
The popcorn gif, Big E eating popcorn in the front row. People use that all the time, the spanking, like you said. They've got great gifts, great moments. They were the tag team at WrestleMania 32 who were talking shit, and then Mick Foley, Stone Cold, and Shawn Michaels all came out to hit finishers. workers. Like, they trust them to work with the legends. They're all, like, first ballot Hall of Famers, easily.
Interesting.
All right, it's to me, my last one. I kind of am tempted to take Kai and Tai here.
Yeah, do it.
Yo, Ed, we've talked about. Remember, we said we were going to do like a baseball draft where we draft like a whole 9-man team and just make it like an extended long. We just got to have like the boys talk old attitude. I could talk. I think we should do. Radar.
I think we should just do best wrestling moment and just leave, and then you can just go.
Oh, that'd be good too.
You could just go best moments of all time. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, I was between two, and I guess I'm going Kai and Tai.
I'm sorry for I thought we were ending. I shouldn't have said the names I said, but Kai and Tai is fucking. They're legendary. Choppy, yo, pee.
Legendary,
that alone.
Infamous in WWE. Like, that's something WWE loves to, like, maybe they'll bring it up, but they'll be like, yeah, it was when we went a little too crazy.
Got a little nuts with it.
Val Venus getting his dick chopped off.
Dude, I Googled Tori Wilson test, and then someone said they never get, this is like a Reddit in like the Google results. There was a Tori Wilson invites the Tough Enough cast to partake in the Tori Wilson sex test. I don't know what that even means, but there was a different world back then.
Yeah, man.
It was a different
they wanted, bro. It was great. It was great. It was a great time. Kai and Tai, do it. Lock it in, Eddie.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kai and Tai. Taka Michinoku and Funaki. I just looked it up. Apparently, they never won the tag team titles, which is a shame.
Yeah, I could see that.
Of course they never won the tag team titles. They're Kai and Tai.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll throw the strap on anyone at that point. Like, even if it was just for a
Like,
day.
unfortunately, the Bushwhackers were never champs. Like, yeah, no shit, Eddie.
Dude, when the Bushwhacker came down in the Royal Rumble, walks in,
Bushwhacker
gets knocked
Luke.
out, and just keeps walking. So good, man. So good.
Hall of Famers, though. I was there for their induction.
Absolutely.
I think Ken Jack knows what picture to use for Kai and Tai, right?
Yeah, he should know.
Yeah. You're up, Clem. Final pick of the draft.
So I'm really tempted to take the Bushwhackers because I think we've all mentioned their name at this point.
I mean, they are legendary. Like
They are.
Like,
listen, jobbers need to exist in wrestling, and they were the best of the best.
Totally.
I think it's almost better that like we all have the Bushwhackers in a sense. So I'm going to go with again. It's as much about the moment as it is about what they were, which they were an up and coming team. But the Rockers, and then what becomes Shawn Michaels, and then the Marty Jannetty. And again, I remember this vividly. I remember when Shawn Michaels throws him through Brutus the Barber Beefcake's barbershop window, and they like had to blur out his face because it was such a mess and bloody. And I was like, holy shit, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. They played it to a T. They were so good back then at making you believe. Same with like the Macho Man with the Cobra, right? Where they had to like blur it out. I think again, like that still lives to this day. Even like us, especially us olds, where we're talking about like this is the most fucked up thing since Marty Jannetty got through the plate glass window. But I remember the Rockers, like I thought they were cool and they felt like they were up and coming. I never thought they were going to be great, but then Shawn Michaels just goes and becomes an absolute legend. It was crazy to me. So I'll go Rockers here.
The Rockers are so awesome and so ahead of their time. Like, the Hardys don't exist without the Rockers.
Right.
Like, a lot of those tag
the way
teams
for a lot.
were all inspired by the Rockers because the Rockers had the cool matching gear that was all neon colored, and they would chop it up and make it frizzled, and they had the tassels and everything. And they also had so many tag team maneuvers that they would do together. You know, tag in somebody, I'll hold the guy for you, you hit him, double drop kick, double super kick, stuff like that, where they were so in sync. And they would actually, their stories, they would call their matches with action figures. They would like sit down with their own action figures. They'd be like, I do this, you do that. And
love that.
I love the Rockers. I love obviously the turn, one of the greatest heel turns of all time. Bobby the Brain Heenan on commentary being like, he's a coward. He was trying to jump through the window. And then the feud that followed is pretty underrated as well. Like, they were, obviously Marty Jannetty went on to be pretty much nothing, and Shawn went on to be the greatest of all time. But they had a quick feud that they put together like really good matches that nobody talks about anymore, where Marty would jump from the crowd and he's wearing street gear and he jumps Shawn Michaels and shit. But great pick, and I feel like it would have been a sham of a draft if the Rockers didn't get picked.
In there. Yeah, I was gonna say it wraps it up nicely.
Yeah,
I do think there's gonna be one team that people are gonna give a shit for, but
I think so.
Give it to us. It's honorable mentions. Who is it?
I think the Steiners. I think people who were Steiner people are going to be like, that was a big tag team.
I think the Steiners are going to be a miss.
That's WCW. I'm not a WCW guy. I think they had a little run in WWF.
I'm surprised. Isn't Roman Reigns' crew, doesn't they?
The Bloodline is more of a faction.
Okay.
The Usos would be the tag from the faction.
Oh, okay.
Demolition, I think, is the biggest omission. Personally, they were the longest reigning tag champs before The record got broken by the New Day and then the Usos. But Demolition, again, a great look.
You know who he
Axe and Smash?
Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat, another great one.
That's who I was between with them and Kai and Tai, and then I swerved to Kai
Harlem
and Tai.
Heat and Kai and Tai, and you picked Kai and Tai? You let Kevin talk you into Kai and Tai over Harlem Heat?
Kai and Tai just... I don't Funaki and Taka Michinoku, they deserve some respect. So I put them on the ground.
And shout out to the Michinoku driver, still a move.
Who else do we? Let's see, WCW.
Money Inc., $1 Million Man and IRS. Just
Yes,
I
that was a
like
good
$1
one.
Million Man a lot.
Rock and Roll Express,
This one I
Midnight
don't think they
Express.
were. This was more a faction than a team. But the Greenwich Mean Street Posse.
Yeah.
Gotta shout out them. Pete
Yeah,
Gas was one of them, right? That was one of their names.
Pete Gas
Yep.
and who was the other guy?
God, it's gonna drive me crazy if I don't know
Pete
this.
Gas is a stoolie. He's been in the mix a little bit.
Pete Gas and Rodney, right?
TNA
yes.
was a name.
Rodney
Didn't
and Joey
Velvetus have a
Abs.
team where it was like an adult name? It was like him and Goldust or something. It was like a raunchy team. I felt like Val Venus might have had a team with somebody.
Who was
You're probably right.
when Viscera was Mabel? Who were they? Remember the big? I think it was
Oh,
Mabel,
yeah,
big
yeah,
fat
yeah.
Men on
purple-
a Mission, MOM.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Men on a
And they had
Mission.
the purple and the gold.
Yes,
yeah,
they
yeah,
were
yeah.
huge.
Another like great stable. I remember the first VHS I had was like Men on a Mission versus a bunch of doinks and like the bushwhackers dressed as doink and shit.
Oh, you know who I wanted to take? Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio.
Great tag team.
They won the belts, right? I think they were champs.
I think they probably were, yeah.
I think so.
I don't know if it was
that
WCW or WWF.
That was like wrestling.
Yeah.
They were, Rey Mysterio.
Rey Mysterio and Batista were honestly a great tag team, and that was kind of that Kane and X-Pac dynamic. There's a lot of great Kane tag teams, actually. Like, Kane is a underrated tag team wrestler in terms of Brothers of Destruction I think Kane and Big Show could have been taken.
Mm-hmm.
Kane and X-Pac were taken. I think Kane and RVD were like the next generation of Kane and X-Pac.
Yeah.
And he had a great tag team, short-lived with the Hurricane. And it was Kane and the Hurricane. It was a
right.
weird dynamic. The Hurricane and Rosie were a personal favorite tag team of mine where it was like two stupid fake superheroes.
What about the Oddities? Did they have a tag team?
The Oddities?
I think they were just a faction, from what
Yeah,
I
I think
remember.
they were
Okay.
just a
The
faction,
Oddities were
too.
great.
They were freaks.
Unless
That
you
was
want to
literally
say,
like-
unless you want to say ICP was their tag team.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
The
I have a
Quebecers,
niche
the Head
one,
Shrinkers.
It was the Dancing Fools, Disco Inferno, and Alex Wright.
Yeah,
it was like
Disco
because I
Inferno.
really love Disco Inferno and WCW, and Alex Wright was actually terrible. But just throw Disco Inferno, I was a Disco Inferno guy.
Disco Inferno was the worst. I loved them.
Yeah. The Headbangers?
Rockers. Nasty Boys?
Oh,
Nasty Boys. Nasty
Nasty
Boys,
Boys.
big omission.
Nasty Boys,
is a big
yeah,
one.
they were. But like whenever they came in there, I'm like, get these guys. I understand people like them. I was not a Nasty Boys fan, but they were a big deal.
Goldust and Booker T were good, too.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Goldust and
Dude,
Cody,
I'll
like the
tell
brothers.
You what, we're all winners because wrestling's awesome. Wrestling's just
honestly,
the
I texted
best.
my brother before this draft. I said this might be the easiest draft because like I sent him my draft board of 20 names, and I was like, I think I'd be happy with any 5. Pick
Yeah,
a random
yeah.
5, and I'd be happy with that.
I
list.
think had I sold the Hart Foundation better and didn't admit that I wasn't a Hart Foundation, I would love my squad.
Yeah, I mean, people will love that pick. The Hart
Yeah.
Foundation has to be on there.
Yeah, they're way
Oh,
up there.
Kev,
But,
I
dude,
can't wait till everyone just dunks on you with all the Christian and Edge hate. They're just all the real ball
I
knowers are gonna
so stand by that. Replaceable.
You're
Robbie, did
anti-Canadian.
you
probably
mention,
placed the hit for the screw job.
Did you mention Team Hell Yes?
Oh, no, and that's another fucking team that Kane had. That was another offshoot of the X-Pac team, basically. Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan.
Yeah. Yes.
So,
Which is-
and they had some of the funniest segments, them going to anger management class together. Oh, God, it was so fucking funny.
Yeah, that was after my time, but even that like caught my radar because
You
of
could
like,
count
some
the
of
Shield,
social
too,
stuff.
as a tag team. More of a faction than a tag team. It's the 3 of them. But
That's Roman Reigns, right?
Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins had the tag team titles for a
Right.
while Dean Ambrose had the United States title. So they could be up there as a tag team for sure.
Benoit.
blog stuff. Kevin, I always used to think of you with Conan. He's always used to go, what do you say? La Rasta la Riga. Was he a part of a tag team, K-Dog, or was he solo?
K-Dog was,
he might have
was
been
like
part
an
of a tag
NWO
team.
guy, but I don't think he had like.
I don't know if he was.
I think it was like I remember liking him the most out of the Wolfpack, but like he was not a duo, was he?
I don't think so.
K-Dog, because that was like I wanted my nickname to be K-Dogs.
Or I guess, no. No.
Yeah, he was more just like a member of the gang.
How about ECW? Did ECW, like, obviously the Dudleys, was
Public
Van
Enemy
Dam and
was the big
Sabu,
one.
were they a tag?
RVD and
for a while?
Sabu
Like,
were a tag team.
RVD and Jerry Lynn were a feud, but I think they teamed at some point.
New Jack had somebody, and then there was Public Enemy. I don't remember who those guys were, but I remember the Public Enemy in ECW. They were like the guys.
I feel
But
like they shoved a lot of people together.
Rob Van Dam should have had like a real tag. I think he's like the greatest technical wrestler maybe ever. Like
he was one
the
of my
frog
favorites.
splash, the Van Daminator when he would jump diagonal.
Yeah,
across
Rolling Thunder, he would do the flip.
Holy
and
shit!
he
That
had
guy
a
could
moment.
fly.
He had a
When
moment.
he came over, that was huge.
Yeah.
Taz and him coming
Yes.
to WWE was fucking
And
massive.
like 2006, he beat John Cena for the world title at the Hammerstein Ballroom, like
Really?
ECW One Night Stand, and he popped for weed right afterwards. Which, like, no shit, Rob Van Dam popped for weed.
No kidding.
So they
Doesn't
took the
he
title off.
I'm
of
pretty
him.
sure Rob Van Dam has like made like porn and shit before, hasn't he?
I don't know
Didn't
if
he do
he's
something with,
made
he has
porn.
like multiple wives.
Yeah,
and, like,
he's got. There's pictures of him like in a jacuzzi with like multiple porn stars, and I think he's
Yeah.
dating all of them.
Yeah.
He's got a great story. He was in a tag team with Rey Mysterio for a little bit, and they would do this thing where he would like pick Rey up and kind of throw him on the opponent for a leg drop, and they called it the 420 leg drop. And Vince McMahon apparently caught wind of it and was like, I need to
don't
hear
do
why
that.
it's called the 420 leg drop. And he went up to him and he was like, well, there's 2 of us, so 4 legs, and 20 is our combined shoe size. And Vince was like, oh,
Sounds good.
brilliant.
What a fucking idiot. That's hilarious.
Brilliant. That's awesome.
By the way, I will just say real quick, keeping my eye on modern wrestling the last few weeks, Chad Gable is
Awesome.
That shtick is unbelievable.
He's awesome.
That's Chad Gable.
Yeah.
No, he's not. That's
If
Chad
you're not
Gable.
aware, Chad Gable, this like Kurt Angle type,
He's Kurt Angle
American
2.0.
wrestler, you know.
Yeah.
He is now. He said, I got to go away. I got to learn about the lucha arts. And he was away for a little bit, and then he just came back out in it's clearly him, but in an American lucha mask. And he just started attacking people, and everyone's like, yeah, that's clearly not Chad Gable. And there keep being moments where they're like, Chad, we know it's you. And then someone in the lucha mask will get taken out behind him. He's like, you see us in the same room. It's clearly not me.
It's such a dumb gimmick.
So the crowd now chants, that's Chad Gable. And the other half chants,
he's
no,
not.
it's not.
It's so
and he's
fucking
wrestling Rey
stupid.
Mysterio this weekend at WrestleMania.
It's so good, man. When like other people in his crew will be like, well, first of all, we don't know that was Chad Gable. Like everyone's keeping kayfabe on it. It is so fucking
Same
fun.
moveset, same
He is
taunts, everything is the
exactly
same.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
That sounds awesome.
It is. Give WrestleMania a watch this weekend. If you're, hopefully this draft inspires someone out there to be like, fuck, I haven't watched them forever, but I'll turn
They're
it
doing
on this
right.
weekend.
You can tell like they brought the comedians on recently, Schultz, Tony, and Bert. Like Triple H is doing it right.
Yeah.
Man. Like they're getting back. It's worth keeping an eye on.
How do you watch WrestleMania? I don't even know how I would
It's on
go
Peacock.
about
It's on the
trying to watch
cock.
it.
Just turn on the cock.
Also, Monday nights is
okay.
Netflix now. You can watch Raw on Netflix.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. All right, fun draft, and it inspired me. We've never done just straight up wrestlers.
Bro, do wrestling. You should do that too, wrestlers. But wrestling moments would.
Yeah,
There's so many
pretty
that
good.
like you could have the last pick in the draft, and
Have
there's
someone's 1-1.
Oh many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think wrestling moments, and even factions is really fun too.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
there's so many good ones. The only thing we've done was this one today, and then we've done
Entrances?
entrance music. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, there's plenty to do. You could do managers. You could do the
Managers
the
would be
divas.
great, yeah.
You could
Finishing
do
moves.
Finishers.
You could probably just do like best Vince storylines, best Stone Cold storylines.
yeah, you-
best
you could-
Rock
like, there's
storylines.
so many,
There's 20,
yeah.
25 of those each. You know.
You're right.
Ty and Ty,
Heel turn.
getting drafted just warms my heart.
That's unbelievable.
That was a respect. I was like giving someone who never got their moment. That's what I was doing. I'm gonna read it off. There's no vote, but might as well. KFC, New Age Outlaws, the Hart Foundation, Too Cool, Triple H and Shawn Michaels, Tess and Albert, Robbie, the Hardy Boys, Road Warriors, Brothers of Destruction, the Usos, New Day, Eddie, the Dudley Boys, Rock and Sock Connection, Kane and X-Pac, APA, Kai and Tai, Clem, Edge and Christian, the Outsiders, the Mega Powers, the Natural Disasters, and the Rockers.
There's going to be a wrestling fan out there that just looks at the draft board, doesn't listen to this, doesn't know us.
Test and Albert.
They're going to see Test and Albert go before the Rockers, and they are going to be very, very confused.
Dude, that should be a new, like, the dog walk. Your final pick has to be an intentionally bad one.
Yeah, for engagement.
Because they are. I mean, they were so goddamn bad. They're more memorable in my mind than the Rockers because of how bad they were.
Eddie's board is pure Attitude Era, uncut.
Yeah.
to the
You did
gut.
not stray once,
And
brother. I
then the
respect
Kai
that.
is such the fucking sledgehammer of a closer. But it's like, I mean, it's all attitude, right? I mean, I guess you were too young for the Hogan Hart era, and you got out of it probably. Right?
Exactly.
Right in.
I was like 7 to 2000.
Brother. That's all you
Yeah.
need.
That's all you need, man.
Yeah.
Oh, hip hop
it.
and wrestling. Give me like 97 through 03, and that's all I need. I'm
Yeah.
good.
All right. This was fun. Thank you for doing it.
Had a blast.
I'll be there next week, so I'll see you guys next week.
Oh, cool.
All right, everyone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That's it for this week. Follow Robbie Fox. I'm sure a bunch of WrestleMania content coming soon, too. All right. Tomorrow.